And so now we find ourselves in this position where the race has finally started between Blue Origin and SpaceX, and the engineering decisions introduced a really interesting plot twist in this journey of the American space program. So Starship Flight 7 just completed, and while they, for the second time ever, attempted a booster landing at the pad and caught it successfully, which was the hardest part of this whole thing so far, they also had Starship 33 have an issue in orbit, and a giant debris stream, something out of a Kessler syndrome nightmare, happened in orbit. So it makes you wonder about the engineering decisions and the timing of it. If you asked me 4 years ago, the engineering decisions of SpaceX made a lot of sense, and they already had a wonderful Falcon 9. They could do the heavy lift with Falcon Heavy, but they chose to spend the time developing Raptor and this crazy thing called Starship. So that way they would have capability for human space travel that was far and above whatever anyone would have. But with Starship on its 7th flight having an issue in orbit, we still don't know what's going on. We saw that flap of material hanging off the side, which was right around max Q, which is the maximum aerodynamic pressure on the vehicle, so the atmosphere. Its highest impact is that rocket's pushing through the atmosphere. They even have to pull back the throttle on the engines because of the force on Starship. We still don't know this. There's a lot that needs to be discussed. But Starship had an anomaly in orbit, and it is a very large debris stream. And so the FAA will definitely be involved, and that's going to slow Starship down. And that's because Starship is in its infancy stage. It's still being developed. The way that SpaceX is trying to quickly get to the other side of this problem is by making Starship have different things on it each time to continue the testing so that they can understand. So they're changing Starship to adjust over time. If they saw something from the last flight that they wanted to fix, they've been taking out heat tiles in certain areas that would structurally deter Starship and tell them, do we have the physics right? Tell them if their test is breaking their system. And a good test is all about pushing yourself to the very edge of your understanding. And here, SpaceX got caught on the other edge of the understanding, and Starship ended up rutting. Rapid unscheduled disassembly, as they say in the industry. SpaceX is in the pain part of this, of the engineering stage. There is going to be a lot more pain for those engineers and struggle. I don't say pain as a way to deter people from engineering. If you thought, hey, I might want to get into engineering before this, and now you're hearing it's painful, don't be too scared about that. That's just the reality of tackling something challenging. It means that Starship still has a lot of work to do. I'm sure by Starship 8, they're able to build these starships quickly. They'll get a fix. The question is, how much of a delay are they going to have from the FAA? Because no doubt the FAA is going to have a longer investigation involved, and then whatever is decided to fix what they saw as wrong, who knows when that's going to happen and how long it's going to take to finish, but it's going to delay things. So Starship hitting 8 launches this year may not happen unless they get the fix on this next one or even the second one, and they don't lose any more Starships this year. If they lose more Starships this year, there's definitely going to be more of a discussion about the feasibility of Starship. But that's how quickly all of this could change, right? If you talked to me yesterday, if you talked to me 4 years ago, Starship would have a clear lead, and New Glenn would be a far distant memory, and I wouldn't have much confidence in the scalability of the BE-4 engine. But at least today, on January 16th, after New Glenn has its maiden launch and does amazing, the only thing they don't do is land the booster, and then Starship has another amazing launch, does something that's never been done before for a second time, which is catch the super heavy booster at the launch pad, but they lost Starship. So this changing of fate, or at least whatever the roll of the dice was today in space, has been a massive shift in at least today's understanding of the engineering decisions, right?